Right, so we're live then. Welcome to Appsmashlive. Thank you ever so much to Bryn and Greg and Joe and John for joining me for another episode of Appsmashlive. Welcome, Bryn. How are you today? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. I saw my name back to front, but
it's fine for us.
oh, good. Okay, good.
So, Bryn, where are you based?
I'm based in the northwest of England. I teach in a place called Droylsden, which is near Manchester.
Okay, cool. And someone's getting a hangout request.
It's not me.
I wish it was me. You're my only friend on here, Mark. So.
No, it is me. 1 second. Right, okay.
Shut himself off.
It's a great start. Okay, let me just invite Simon, who's going to be joining us this morning as well. Greg, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, for those who don't know you, giving your expertise in the phrase that you've coined of app smashers?
Sure. So my name is Greg Coolwick. I'm actually checking in at 5 in the morning from Plymouth, Massachusetts in the States. So I'm a former high school history teacher, and now I'm an instructor with EdTech teachers. So I get to work with teachers in schools all over the United States to help them, figure out what sort of work they're going to be doing with their one-to-one technologies in their schools. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm really happy that I got up after that alarm went off and to share a few ideas and learn a few ideas this morning.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much. It's really, really good to have you with us today. Thank you. Next along the line, we've got Joe Dale, who's been involved in a few of these. Joe, welcome. For those that don't
Hi, everyone. I'm actually... Oh, sorry. Go on.
For those that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are and what have you?
Yeah, sure. No problem at all. Well, first of all, I'm delighted that I can actually hear everyone. The last Appsmash Live that we did, number 4, I was sort of running on mute, which is quite interesting. So I'm glad I can actually hear everyone today. So yeah, I'm a former French teacher. Teaching on the Isle of Wight, which is where I still live, and it's an absolutely glorious day here at 10 o'clock in the morning, Greg. So I really appreciate you getting up so early to join us. And since 2009, I've been an independent consultant, going around the world, running training on this, that, and the other. Most of the work I've been doing recently has been on iPads, and this is my 4th App Smash, I think, or 3rd or 4th anyway. No, 4th. It is the 4th. I've only missed one. Yeah. So, I'm very much looking forward to presenting about app smashing.
Brilliant stuff. And then we've got John from near Southampton. John, hi.
That's right, Mark. My name's John. I've been teaching since 2007. My main subject specialism is PE, but I teach some economics and business too. I love using tech in all its guises. I sort of feel that there are lots of untapped applications within not only my practical areas, but also in the classroom, and always very, very eager to hear and share with others.
Brilliant stuff. And then we've got Simon, who's just joined us. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Mark.
Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
Morning.
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 Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and what you do and what have you?
Yeah, I'm an ICT and computing teacher in Wolverhampton in the West Midlands. I've only been teaching about 5 or 6 years. Before that, I worked for the City Learning Centres before we lost all our funding. I teach computer science. I'm a CAS master teacher, so supporting the new computing curriculum here in England. Also, Microsoft Innovative Expert Educator. I shouldn't say that now while doing an Apple App Smash. And also Raspberry Pi certified educator as well. And I'm always looking for new ways to use technology in the classroom to support all subjects, all phases.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much for that. And then, last but not least, we've got me. Hi, I'm Mark, and Appsmashlive is something where we get teachers together from all over the world to sort of share some of their ideas about how we can really squeeze the learning juice out of the devices that we use in the classroom. So I thought we'll start with someone who's had a go before, so you can show us how it's all done. So Joe, if you're ready, are you ready to go first?
Yeah, sure. Should be fine.
Okay, brilliant. So Joe, over to you.
Okay, brilliant. So what I'm going to do first of all is share my screen. If I can just sort out where I'm actually. Where are we? Oh, that's interesting. Hang on. Oh no, that should be fine. Hang on. If I click on here and I just. Right, okay, right. So if I hang on. Right, brilliant. Come on. Just give me 2 seconds. It's just saying not responding, but it'll come up in a second, I'm sure. Always the way. Right, brilliant. Okay, can you see that?
Yep, Barbie.
Yay, brilliant. Okay, right. Sorry about that. Okay, so I thought I would talk about a way of creating an animated photo story using Barbie as a character, as you do. Now, if I click on present, I can present. I can click on present, can't I? Is that right, Mark?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, just give me 2 seconds. So, yeah, I think you're going to really enjoy this. So, as you can see, this is my blog address here. This is my email address underneath. And as soon as that thing stops whirring around, I'll just crack on. In fact, I'm just going to go for it now. Oh, hang on. Great. It's saying not responding. Never mind. Don't worry. It'll be absolutely fine. Right. Oh, hang on.
Okay, Joe. Whilst you're sorting that,
okay. Do you want to? Someone else can go, and I'll just get myself sorted out.
Yeah. So I'll jump in then.
Sorry.
My app smash is quite a light one actually. Lots of app smashes that I see involve lots and lots of different steps. This one I'm going to try and do now is quite a simple one. Can you see my iPad there on the screen, guys?
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. So one of my favourite apps to help bring in teachers who are a little bit not anti-technology, but certainly question the use of it, and certainly those people who only have one iPad in the classroom. An app that I like an awful lot to help bring in teachers and showing the positive way of using technology in the classroom is through an app called Post-it Plus. Now with Post-it Plus, you can basically use the app to take photographs of post-its that you've got that you've used in your classroom, used in session and what have you, and then it digitizes them so that you can then work on them. So, for example, I've got some post-its here that I used recently. I took a photo of recently, and you go in and you can actually then go through and look at the post-its. You can go in and edit them, and actually then write on them and add comments and things, and you can type on them, so forth and so on. Now, that for me is really quite powerful, and teachers that I speak to absolutely love it because, like me, I love using post-its in the classroom, but I'm really rubbish with paper, and so from one lesson to the next, if I've used post-its as an exit ticket or a means to record ideas on a theme or what have you, or to get ideas for research, that sort of thing. It's not really that easy to keep hold of those post-its from one session to the next. So it's a really powerful way of doing that and keeping a record of those discussions and learning that's happened in the classroom. There's some great options within the app as well once you've finished for exporting the board. So you can export that board then into PDF or PowerPoint format, or you can download all the post-its as images within a zip file. But what I also like is the fact that you can actually share the board, and you can share the board in different ways. So this app smash involves a really simple smash from or a workflow from one app into another. So in Blue Peter fashion, and Greg, you might not know this sort of analogy. There's a TV program in the UK called Blue Peter where they always talk about having done one earlier. So to speed up the process, what I've done is I've made one earlier. So what I've done is I've previously saved the image, and then I've reopened it again in another favourite of mine called ThingLink. And so what I've done in ThingLink here is I've taken that image there and I've turned it into a live document. So the idea is that you can take the post-its you've been using in your classroom and then using your class ThingLink account get students to add in their comments, their notes, their revision, their research, whatever it is related to the post-its which are there then within that image. So it's a really simple thing to do. You can see that I've added some images on here already. So if I tap onto here, you can see there's an image there about Google Apps for Education. Down here, there's a link to a Storify. This one here about Padlet has got a link to a Padlet wall. This one here has got some training video about Google Forms, so forth and so on. And so it's just a really, really nice way of really squeezing an awful lot more out of just using some simple post-its within the classroom. So yeah, the Post-it Plus app by itself is really powerful, but if you take it through and use it again in ThingLink, then you can really turn it into a whole class activity where you can ask students to share their ideas, put in their research, and turn something which is a humble post-it into something far, far more than just that humble post-it. So that's my app smashing idea, and yeah, I hope you like it. I can't take credit for it. I was talking yesterday on Twitter with David Thuriot, who you might know on Twitter as David Teju, and we were talking about Post-it Plus, and that idea came from the conversation. So thank you, David, and I hope you find that useful. Thanks. There you go.
Mark.
Thanks, Mark. That was great. Shall I have another go at doing mine?
Yeah, go on then, Joe.
I think hopefully it's sorted out. Yeah, that should. Yeah, here we are. Right. Okay.
So I can see you.
Hey, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yay, brilliant. Okay, right. So as I was saying, thinking carefully about how to do the app smash for this one, I thought I'd go for an animated photo story using Barbie as a theme. I could have used any old picture, but I thought I'd use Barbie as a nice sort of characterful way of doing this. So this is my app smash, and away we go. So first of all, these are all the apps which I'm going to be using in my app smash. If you do a search for Flick Stacker, it also comes up as Photo Stacker as well, but I've always known it's Flick Stacker. And then you can see all the other ones that are there. You can see that next to each one is a QR code. So if you scan the QR code,
Yeah.
Nope. Joe, you've gone.
that's all. And there are other ways of achieving the same thing, but hopefully that's working okay. Can you still see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Right, fantastic. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Here we go. So the first thing was I thought I would go on to Flick Stacker, and it's the only app that I'm aware of that allows you to search for Creative Commons licensed images. So I started just putting words like people in, or names of countries and this sort of thing to sort of get some inspiration for images I wanted to include within my animated photo story. And then I don't know why, but I came up with the idea of putting in the word Barbie as a character. Originally I was going to put pictures of my son in, but I decided not to in the end, and I'm just going to do this instead. So here, as you can see, I've selected Creative Commons, I've searched for the word Barbie, and I've searched for photos. So then I tap on the image on the right hand side there at the top, and selected that particular Barbie picture. So then what I've done is I've tapped on the export option and saved that picture to my camera roll. If I wanted to tap on browser, I could go down and just check the CC license just to make sure it was okay to use this. I think that in digital storytelling and other sorts of multimedia projects, it's very, very important that we use CC images or use our own images, which is why I thought I'd show this app to start off with as the first point of my app smash. Okay, so having saved the picture to my camera roll, I've then launched the app called Toon Camera, and as you can see, I've selected the image there. So I've clicked on the little sort of ring binder icon, and then clicked on the image that I want to customize or cartoonize. And as you can see here, then what I've done is I've tapped on the save option, and I've tapped Save to Album. Now you can see that with Toon Camera, what it does is it turns any digital photograph into a cartoonized version. You can also use the app to shoot video as well as a cartoon. So those people that remember Aha, Take On Me in 1985, I think it was, you can do this now on the iPad. So this is really nice if you want to, let's say, to a certain extent, protect the identity of the children that you're teaching, or you want to create a cartoonized photo story. This is a way to do it. Obviously, I'm just doing a picture of a Barbie today, but you could have used the picture of a real child if you wanted to. So, I've turned my Barbie picture into a cartoonized version and saved it to the camera roll. Then what I've done is I've opened up an app called Balloon Stickies Plus, and I've tapped on the camera icon and I've selected Photo Album. I've selected the picture which I've turned into a cartoonized version. I've also selected, I will select, should I say, in turn later on, the different images which I've turned into cartoonized versions. So you can see there in those images that are there that I've downloaded 4 different images of Barbie dolls, as you do, and I've turned them all into cartoonized versions. Okay, now once I've got the image up in Balloon Stickies Plus, I just double tap anywhere on the screen, and then a balloon will appear, speech bubble. I then move the sort of the triangular bit so it goes near the mouth, and then I double tap within the speech bubble, and then this then comes up. So I then click on the text option. I write in my text here. I could do things like changing the text size or center a line or whatever, but I've just for today I've just done that, and then I just tap done. Okay, and as you can see, I've now got my lovely image with the expression "I'm a Barbie girl." Then I tap the export option, and I tap save image. So I've saved my image to the camera roll. I've then repeated the same ideas for the other parts of the first 4 lines of the song, "I'm a Barbie girl," and I've saved them all to the camera roll. I then open Pic Collage and I tap on the Photos option in Pic Collage. And as you can see, I then tap on all the cartoonized images with the speech bubbles I've added via Balloon Stickies Plus, and I tap the tick with the number 4 next to it, and they all pop into my Pic Collage like this. Now you can see that they're not exactly all nicely ordered. They're all just a bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment. You've got some pictures there overlapping with each other. So then I tap on the option down here, the layout option, bottom left, and I select for this particular photo story the 4 quadrants to appear as my layout, and I tap on the tick option on the right hand side there. Okay, having done that, you can see now that they're all very nicely ordered and positioned in the right place, which is great. I had to do this a couple of times to make sure they were all in the correct order, because they sort of randomly put them in different orders, but eventually I got that all sorted, so that was fine. Then having done that, I tap on the plus sign in the middle at the bottom there, and I tap on the background option. And as we're talking about Barbie, I thought it would be appropriate to go for the sort of the pink background with little white hearts, and then tap on the little tick there. And that gives a nice background, I think, for the pictures. Okay, then I tap on the save to library option, and I tap the tick up there top right. Okay, then I put the image that I've created, the photo story that I've created, into Shadow Puppet EDU. And this is an idea that I got from a few people, certainly from Greg from his ideas, iPad Ideas book, using Explain Everything, but I'm just using Shadow Puppet EDU. So here what I've done is I've taken the picture, put it into that, and by using the app, what I can do, I tap next first, having selected the one image. What I can do is I can press start to start recording, and then I can pinch with my fingers and zoom from frame to frame. So the idea is, instead of just doing a static photo story, you can actually turn it into a video, and then zoom from each picture to picture, and then obviously say the words over the top of the particular line, which is what I did. So I then sang "I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world," as you do. But this works really, really nicely, I think, as a way of bringing a cartoon strip or a photo story to life. And you could use this in lots and lots of different ways in any subject, I think. You can also do this natively by using an app called Halftone 2, but I prefer this sort of app smash method personally. So I press start to record, and then I basically, with my fingers, pinch from slide to slide or image to image to go to the different sections of the photo story. Okay, having done that, I tap the save option and I tap done, and that saves my video to my camera roll. Okay, and there we are. That's what it looks like. So now that's how it looks in the app, but it's also saved to my camera roll. Okay, then as another little sort of twist at the end, I've put the video clip into iMovie, and because, believe it or not, my voice doesn't sound like Barbie, what I thought I would do is I would tap on the speed option in iMovie, and then I would then speed up the clip. As you can see, it's nearly full extent to where the hair is. So I was able to speed up the clip, and as a result of that, by changing the pitch of my voice, it made me sound more female, if you like, or more Barbie-like. I then edited the title of the Barbie App Smash video to My Barbie App Smash, as you do, and I exported it to the camera roll, saved it to the camera roll, and then I used the app YouTube Capture to upload it onto YouTube. And if you scan that QR code right now, you can watch My Barbie App Smash live. And thank you for watching. That's it.
I need that QR code back up again, Joe. That's awesome.
Right. Oh, hang on. I've lost, hang on. What have I done? What have I done? Here we are. And there we are. Okay, so yeah, so I just got this inspiration at the end about speeding up my voice, but obviously what would be better is if I use some sort of audio recording app to change the pitch of my voice. I know how to do that in Audacity, but I'm not sure on the iPad. So anyone out there that can advise on that, and then be able to save that and then use the open in function and then put it into iMovie. I know that with Voice Record Pro, you can record some audio, edit it, top and tail it, and then open it in iMovie. But I don't think you can change the pitch on it. So I tried to do it and it didn't work. So any way of doing that as opposed to just speeding up the video would be much appreciated. So has everyone got that QR code that wants it?
Yeah, I've got it now. If it's okay with you, I was going to play that back.
Yeah, go for it. It's only 12 seconds of pure glory.
In the Barbie world, life in plastic, it's fantastic.
Fantastic. That's brilliant stuff. Thank you so much, Joe. I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so that's a really, really great app smash there. Some new apps for me there as well. Thank you ever so much for sharing that, Joe. That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Right, so now first person to put their hand up gets to go next. That's Bryn then. Okay, so over to you then, Bryn. Thank you very much.
Okay, right, what I'm going to try and do is share my screen. There we go. There we go. Can everybody see that? Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. What I want to talk about is how I've used Minecraft in the classroom. The idea of using Minecraft was not my own, I must admit. I got it from Lee Parkinson, who has done lots of excellent work with Minecraft. I was in my role at school. I teach in all the Key Stage 2 classrooms, teaching computing, the new computing curriculum. And one of the Year 5 teachers said to me, well, we'll do something about the pyramids. And that was basically all the kind of guidance I got. So I thought, right, okay, I don't want to do the standard, let's do some research and write it up kind of thing. Let's try and do it in a bit more of a creative way. And our current Year 5s are absolutely, completely obsessed with Minecraft. So I thought it might be a good way, and they're quite a challenging year group. So initially we looked at a couple of websites about how the pyramids were constructed. We had a walk around them on Google Street View. We found another website that had a virtual tour of the inside of a pyramid, so they could see the kind of things that were in there, and they made some notes, etc. And then the children went into Minecraft and constructed their own pyramids, both the outside of it, and tried to do it in a similar way to the ancient Egyptians did it, kind of forming a base and then building up to the top. And then they went inside and added things that would be inside the pyramid, like the burial chambers, jewels, gold, that kind of thing. And then once they'd done that, they took screenshots of their pyramids, both the exterior and the interior. and we imported an exterior shot like you can see on the screen to ThingLink. And once that was in ThingLink, what they did was they added the little labels that you can do on ThingLink, as you can see on the screen. The text they added was facts that they'd found out about the pyramids through the activity as we'd gone along, and the images were other images of their pyramids that you couldn't see on the screen. For example, images of the interior. And basically, I thought it was a good way for the children to demonstrate what they're learning about the pyramids. And that's basically it, really. Hope that's okay.
No, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. Awesome. Cheers, Ben. Thank you for sharing that. Right then. So who would like to go next? Greg, did you want to go next so you can get back to bed, perhaps?
No, I'm up for good at this point, but sure, I'll go next. So
thank you.
I'll do a quick screen share as well. Give me 1 second here. So I'm just referring back to a post that I wrote previously on my blog. So it's kind of relatively, I wouldn't say trendy is not the right word, but I've seen a number of people sketchnoting recently with their iPads, a way of just kind of capturing information visually. So I thought I'd try to figure out a way where I could take my iPad, kind of create sketch notes, but layer them on top of a photograph to create maybe a better visualization of the process. Actually, you know what? Instead of my computer, so here's a blog post I wrote about the process, and I'll share the link out if you'd like to refer back to the step-by-step process, but I figure I'll just do it live relatively quickly as well. So give me 1 second here to get my iPad up. Almost there. So let me know if you can see my iPad right now.
Yep.
All right, perfect. So the process is this. I actually just started with a photograph of the speaker that was doing the session that day, and there's a picture of Doug. So I took the photograph and dropped it in to explain everything. Now I did a few other things on top of it ahead of time. You can notice there's a bit of a blur, and you can use any number of apps you'd like to use to do that. I use Tilt Shift Video to kind of have the focal point on Doug and blur out the rest of the process. One other thing that I like to do as well that I've kind of skipped here is drop the photo into Keynote. And in Keynote, I'll use the opacity feature just to make the photo a little bit more transparent, to make the text pop up, and just kind of have the emphasis on the text that's eventually going to be laid on top of this photograph. So once the picture is here, I'll use a few different functions here. So one tool that becomes very helpful is the zoom in function. So I can zoom way in here, and I might use some text and drop Doug's name right on top. Zoom back out. So you can see now we have like tiny text right here of Doug, just using that infinite zoom in feature. And now I might make that a little bit bigger, zoom back out, and place this exactly where I want it to be placed. So adding kind of basic text and explain everything can be really helpful, but a lot of the creation for this is actually going to be done with other applications. The one that I find most helpful is Paper by 53. So here's one sketchbook where I was making various icons and various images to use in this Appsmash, and you can see, for example, that the image might not even come through, but this is in reality just a white picture right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I'm going to take that white picture, export down below, save it to the camera roll, but make sure the transparency is turned off, or excuse me, the background is turned off to generate this as a transparency, and I'm going to export that off to the camera roll. Now if I jump back to explain everything, I'm going to insert that last picture that I created, and there's my creation that I made in Paper by 53, and now I can lay this anywhere that I like on the original photograph. The last step in the process, and then I'll show you the final result, is with the kind of drawing function. I like to turn the opacity up on my pen, change the pen to a thicker brush there, and then if I lay some coloring on top of these pictures in the photograph, you can see it kind of makes them pop out a bit, so you can see and maybe place emphasis on certain concepts. What the final product looks like, and I'll share that here. So there's my final product. where I have text that I've added in and changed the arrangement of it, used the transparencies from paper 53, done some typing, and you can see the background photograph is a little more transparent, put some heading on the top, laid another picture in the bottom right-hand corner, and now I have this great kind of visual that's created by the talk or the class or the session that I was sitting through. So I can see this is a way for students, as a former history teacher, they might take a photograph of a president or a world leader, or even like a primary source document they might take and lay that in the background and start to add their annotations and their drawings and their comments on top of it. And then the final product here would just be to export this to the camera roll and potentially post this on a blog or a website, use it in a creation and book creator, possibly even narrate on top of it and explain everything, or iMovie, or getting some inspiration from the previous App Smashes, potentially drop this into ThingLink and then add some hotspots to other blog posts or videos or web-based content that's related to this talk. So there is my final app smash on how to make kind of hybrid photograph sketch notes with an iPad.
Wow, that looks awesome, Greg. That's really, really powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to share the link in here as well, so you can take a look at the process. I'll throw it in the chat box.
That's brilliant. That's really, really cool. What do you think, guys?
Brilliant.
Yeah, great stuff.
Really like that.
I love explaining.
I really like the remove the background feature. I think you can do the same thing in Fonto as well, can't you, Greg? I think you mentioned that yourself. So yeah, you could. Yeah, I really like the idea of having the drawing your own picture, having no background, and then putting it on the top of something else, and then building it up over time. I think it's Adobe Ideas as well. You can sort of zoom into different a bit like Explain Everything. You can zoom into different sections of your sketch note, and then draw something quite small, and then zoom out again so it appears much smaller in the context of the whole picture. So
Exactly.
It's great stuff.
I think the process is the interesting part. And the first one that I made took well over 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to make one visual. And then the second time I did it, it took about a half hour. I'm sure the next one will take, 15 or 20 minutes. So the more you get comfortable with the tools, like all these things, the process just speeds up.
Yeah, there's another app I've been using. I find Paper by 53 really, really, it's an amazing tool, and like you say, sketchnoting is kind of a bit trendy and what have you at the moment. But I'm not that sort of artistic and what have you. I keep buying nice kit, like I've got a pencil and all the rest of it, but it's not really helping me be any better at the artwork. But Sylvia Duckworth, I don't know if you've seen one lately, but she put me onto another app. It's called Flips. Flip Inc. Which gives lots and lots of the same features as Paper by 53, but you can actually overlay grids. So when you're doing a drawing, you get like a nice grid line over it to help you sort of line things up and so forth and so on. I find that really, really helpful. That's something that you could use as an alternative to Paper by 53. It works in a very similar way with the books and what have you, your little sketch pads and the same sort of pinch features and what have you. But I'm finding it a lot easier to help me as a real novice artist. Sort of create some images and what have you. Although I'm still learning, so that's brilliant. Thank you for that. So, John, are you ready to roll?
I am ready to roll if you can hear me, and I do apologise for my croaky voice.
That's all right. Late night, was it?
No, it's been the germs of the half term, unfortunately, Mark.
Oh, right, okay.
But
well, over to you then, John.
Okay, perfect. Well, as you know, this is the first time I've been privileged to be part of an App Smash, so I do apologise if there's any technical glitches, but I'll do my best. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So let's maximize this. So essentially, in our PE lessons, it's very, very common to be giving out resource cards with broken down instruction, be it text, be it a couple of pictures, etc. But me and my colleagues have actually tried to bring bring resource cards up to date and give them a sort of 2015 twist. we're doing an app smash, which uses as a foundation for the poster Moldiv, and then fancy QR, just generate QR code, word photo, which is as you see in the bottom left, and then the augmented reality is the thing which is always the most impressive for the students, and that's with Aurasma in the bottom right. I have done a pre-recorded video, so hopefully it will work. Is it playing on everyone's screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Moldiv.
I actually I've used Pic Collage, and we've tried Comic Life as well, just to give frames to pictures and text. But the thing with Moldiv, which we've found is particularly beneficial, is that you can change the frames within the actual app. So you can resize them according to your to the size of your image, the text you want to put in, etc. So in this example here, this is why I'm creating the framework for the picture that you just saw, or as Mark described in the Blue Peter, the one that I made earlier. And on a very, very basic level, just to get a picture in, for people that haven't used Moldiv before, you just click inside. You can select any picture from your gallery. In this case, I've got a 3-part broken down example of how to do a layup. Greg would probably be surprised that we play basketball in England, but we do. And then moving on to word photo. So you choose your image. In this case, I'm choosing an example of a layup made in an NBA game. Choose the words that you want to have as an overlay, and then it produces the picture. So you can choose your word set. In this case, obviously, all the terms are relating to the particular skill that the students will be practicing in the lessons. And you can have a list which is populated with up to 10 words, and then once the words have been selected, you have your picture which is ready to be saved. Once it's saved to the photo library, just with the image before, you can easily bring it into your Moldiv frame poster. And then with QR, again, QR codes have been used for a while in our PE lessons, just because if you've got a class of 30 or 40 in a sports hall, it's often good to have an iPad to actually distribute amongst the various groups resource cards, and then they can watch videos which are pre-selected by the teacher. So once you've got your YouTube video, you can generate the QR code very easily. Again, with the same process, export to the camera roll. And then bring it into your Moldiv poster frame. Okay, and then finally here, it's very good to actually choose an appropriate trigger when you're using any sort of AR augmented reality. So I actually chose the first frame from the video I'm going to be using as an overlay. I don't know whether you're familiar with Aurasma or any other forms of augmented reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so this is just a broken down way of actually bringing it in. So once the app's open, then you click on the plus at the bottom of the screen. That will allow you to create what's called an overlay. So the picture I created will be the trigger, and in this case, it's actually a clip from a basketball game from my school. And the process actually over the last couple of years has really sped up. I've been impressed with actually how Aurasma have improved their software. So you've brought it in. Click on the picture that you want to use. And then you choose where you want to position it. Get a nice view of my tablecloth. So I want that to be the trigger image. Again, that was a picture saved from a screenshot. And you can see with the gauge at the bottom whether it's going to be a good enough image. From my experience, if it's anywhere from the midpoint to the far right, then you're pretty much good to go. Well, then once that's done, then you press the capture. And then when the image is actually done, then you can resize the video so it actually looks like it is appearing just as it's bringing the picture to life. For people that haven't done it before, then you would you can create it, you can give it a name, you can make it public, and you can also create a channel so anyone that actually wants to make your pictures come to life can just follow your channel. And actually, in our school, it works really well. And we've got a picture board of highlights of particular skills that they've done in their lessons. Got examples of good work, and it's good. It's good. So this is the way it works at the end. And he made his layout. And that was that.
Awesome, John. That's brilliant. Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
You have a never-ending screen going on there as well.
Yeah, I can see that was just my big hurrah. Sorry. Hopefully that's okay now.
A bit back to you now. That's really good. Thank you, John. Thanks for sharing that. It looks really, really awesome. Whether you got it sort of lined up perfectly in the space there as well with the video on Erasmus. Yeah, it looks really, really good, doesn't it? Right, so we've got Simon with us. Simon, how are you doing? You all right? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so you ready to share with us?
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Okay. Right, so I'm going to try sharing my iPad screen first. By the way, I'm loving what everyone's doing with Erasmus, by the way. Really impressive. Right, so just bear with. I noticed this as well, so I apologise for any technical issues. I already had technical issues this morning. Okay. Have you got that?
I think. There you go. There's your iPad. Yep.
Okay. Brilliant. Now, this is the first time I've done an app smash. I didn't actually know the term app smash. I've been app smashing for a few years now, but it wasn't until I read a tweet by Mark Anderson that I actually knew it had a name. I think going back to the analogy of Blue Peter, I think as teachers we try to get the best effect as cheaply or freely as possible using as many apps as possible. But one of the things that I do with our primary feeder schools, quite a lot, and with modern foreign languages, is do a lot of green screen. Now, I apologise if you've seen this before, but this is my first time, and I think it's sometimes good to showcase some of these resources again. But we do a lot of green screen, and we use things like Final Cut with our digital leaders, and we've also got Adobe CC After Effects because we're BSF school. But sometimes you don't want to spend your evenings after school or your digital leaders spending hours editing green screen. So I was looking for something that I could use in the classroom, especially when we're working with our primary feeder skills. So something we could use that was instant. And I came across this app. It's called Green Screen by Do Ink. Have you come across this before, guys?
Yeah, it's good.
And I was put off first by the primary look and feel of it, but I thought I'd have a go. Got some good reviews, and I absolutely love it. I I say I apologise because most of you used this before, but one thing I like is to use things like Telegami and also Toontastic. So what I've been doing with some of the students, especially in modern foreign languages, is doing weather maps and weather forecasts. Now, I know you can do that with Telegami with a standard basic map, but I like the fact that with this you can have multiple composites or multiple layers, so you can have animated video, or you can explain everything and annotate that. So if I go back to my Telegami, so I've set up a Telegami. I can change my character. Now I've got the free version, so I can't really do much other than change skin tone. I think that's about it. I can change the hair color, but not the hair. So I choose my character. Go back. For my background, I just do a doodle. Fill color. Choose that color I want. So I have a green screen. And then I go back into my and record a message. Now, again, I'm a cheapskate, so I haven't paid for any of the text, so I'm going to have to record my own voice. So I record my voice. Let's have a go. Hi, welcome to my first ever App Smash. So let's play the back. Welcome to my first ever App Smash. Okay, so I'll now share that. Save that into my camera roll. Okay, let's go back. Right, so now I'm going to go to Telegami, into green screen. I've already added a layer, a background layer, which you can add your video, images, camera roll. I'm now going to add in my second layer. So if I go to my video and choose my most recent Telegami, which I think is that one there. Okay, use. I do find a little fiddly sometimes to actually crop video. I'm going to say where I'm going to stop my video. But so the nice thing I like about it is it's so easy to chroma key. You can click on the character, move it. To do this in After Effects or something else is a pain. So if I just choose my character, so I can just move it around like so. But the other thing I like about it is having this additional layer. So we can go in something like, where is it? Toontastic. And then I'm going to pick just a simple scene. So let's create a new one. New cartoon. And I'll get rid of all this because I don't want it, so get rid of conflict. It's great for building up a story though. Get rid of challenge, climax, get rid of that, get rid of resolution. We don't want a resolution. Okay, and then back to my setup. I'm going to have a basic screen. So I'm going to have a green screen, so you can actually use some of the backgrounds. I'm going to use painting canvas, so draw. Let's have pink for Barbie. Barbie's coming up again. Nice green screen. And then fill that in. Okay, accept that. Okay, I call that green. And I'm going to pick a simple character just for a bit of fun now. Let's choose. Let's go ahead. Let's look at toys. Now, when I've been doing the weather maps, there are some nice animated clouds in here. So you've got rain clouds, snow, which you can put into your animations for a bit of fun. So you've got sun, you've got tornadoes, thunder and lightning. But just a bit of fun. I'm going to put Dizzy Bird in. Let's drag that in the center. Okay. Start that. Okay, that's enough. Let's stop that. Okay. Don't want any music. Done. Okay, and export that to my camera roll. Right, so just needs to play through it, then it compiles it and exports it to my camera roll. I have to go through the credits. No way of speeding this up. Okay, so if I now go to my green screen and add, hopefully I've got in here somewhere, if I go back to my video, my camera roll, I should have, there we are, so I'll use that. Again, I need to crop that into the part I want. If you're wondering about the golf background, we've only got 16 gig iPads, so I've had to delete a lot of things recently, a lot of backgrounds. So it was either this or SpongeBob SquarePants. And don't ask. Let's crop that. And it is a bit fiddly. Let's drag that along. Like so. And let's crop the end of that. And let's put an end, we'll have it about there. So if I play this back now, we've got our 2 overlays. Hi, welcome to my first ever Appsmash. Obviously those in the wrong place, so if I just click on that, again, the simplicity, so I can just click and drag, put that over the top of my character, and then play it back. Hi, welcome to my first ever Appsmash. Now, that was just a bit of fun to show what we can do, but obviously you can use things like explain everything, the backgrounds. So we've done some explain everything, have a little avatar floating around in the corner from Puppet Pals explaining what's going on rather than the students just do annotating there, explain everything. We've been done weather maps. You can have conversations, so you can use Telegami to have 2 characters facing each other having a conversation in French. I won't do any French today because it's awful, but that's my first app smash. I hope that was okay.
That was great. I love the effect there. It's really, really good. Yeah, really love it. You were talking about you hearing from me. The first time you heard the phrase app smash was from me. Well, we're very lucky to have Greg with us. Greg was the gentleman who first came up with the term app smash, and doing this thing called Appsmashlive right now. So we're very lucky to have Greg with us. And thank you, Simon, for bringing that sort of smash there together with Toontastic and doing green screen and what have you. Really, really powerful. In our chat alongside, Greg has said that he and Bring that they've got some more app smashes that they'd like to share with us. So we've got about 5 minutes left until we take up the whole hour. We can go over a little bit longer if you want to. But Greg, did you want to share something more with us?
No, it was great. The last concept that was shared was very similar to what I was kind of interested in discussing. And let me see if I can get... Of course, I won't be able to mirror my iPad right now. It was that same idea of taking advantage of doing with their recent update with the ability to resize elements within any one of your 3 layered tracks. And I was doing very similar work. So instead of using like kind of the traditional backgrounds in doing, my idea was to make kind of live comic strips where you could use any comic strip app. I think at this point I'm playing around with Strip Designer. So you can make your comic strip, drop the photos in the background, drop that into Doink, and then you can have actual, live people with video shot in front of a green screen, and they can be live talking about the comic strip, interacting from frame to frame back and forth, possibly doing something like creating video with Telegami, dropping that into your comic strip as well. So the planning process, what I think would be a bit tricky, because I would have to be speaking. My classmate would have to wait 10 seconds on screen, then they would have to speak, but you could set the timing up to make a really cool live comic strip right on your iPad.
So, thank you then, Greg. I think the possibilities, if I think back to when I first started using iPad sort of 4 years ago or so, it's just come on and developed so much more now. The ability to sort of mix and mash and mash them together and have these amazing workflows. it really is sort of the only real sort of limit really these days, I feel, is your own sort of creativity. You know, what John did with Molded and putting through those different ideas there into Molded, you know, tying in Orasma and using word photo and so forth and so on. You know, it's really, really powerful. And it's not, you know, massive jumps. It's just little tweaks and a bit of creativity and a bit of thought. And you know, who'd have thought I'd ever see Joe Dale singing Barbie Girl? It's just absolutely brilliant. Bryn, you said you had something else you could share with us. Are you okay for doing that?
Yeah, I mean, basically, what I was going to share with you is Simon's kind of pretty much covered in what he talked about. I mean, I was just going to talk a little bit about how we've used Telegami in conjunction with iMovie. I was doing some work again with Year 5 about rivers and flooding, and we looked at the Boscastle floods of 2004, and the children kind of acted as reporters in Telegami. And again, like Simon, we only have the free version, so you can only record in 30-second clips because we're tight. And then what we did is the children did that and then basically imported the individual clips into iMovie and put it all together to make a kind of news report from the scene, if you like, and used the iMovie theme so to make it look like a news report, and then added soundtracks, and even some children, I think, turned a tap on to make flood water dripping noises and things like that as an extra effect. So yeah, I mean, basically that's all I was going to. I mean, I can show you quickly an image of what one or two looked like. I'll just share my screen a second. There we go.
Yeah, I've got that. No. You still there, Bryn? Has Bryn dropped off a bit there?
I think we lost him.
He has.
Yeah, I think we lost him there. Okay.
Just while we got that little interim, I wanted to say as well that I really like the idea of having the two Telegamis together, both with green screen backgrounds in the doing green screen. So you could maybe have like a dialogue between the two, and you could just mute the audio for each one in doing green screen, and then just record a narration over the top. Because what you wouldn't want to be doing sorry, not a narration, but the dialogue over the top. What you wouldn't want to be doing is to try to synchronize the two people's dialogue together. But as you can mute the audio for each video clip separately and then record over the top. I've not tried that, but I presume that would work with two Telegami characters at the same time. But I'll definitely have to explore that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's worth noting what you were saying, Joe, in the chat as well about using News Booth for sort of doing this sort of work as well. And I was just going to talk about another app that I really like called TouchCast. So if I just bring up my iPad a second, TouchCast is really, really powerful. So here's one I made earlier. And you can drop in your own videos and live elements and what have you. It's a way of, if you're happy talking in front of, there goes me, but if you're happy talking in front of people to camera rather than using Agami or Avi or whatever else, then you know, that's a really nice way of doing that, I feel.
And Mark, also, I think it was last night, at least it was last night in the States, TouchCast just announced that you can export your videos to the camera roll. So,
hey.
You know,
Yay.
So that was an exported video to the camera roll. So, yeah.
So you can do all sorts of amazing stuff with that tool now because you own the content, and then you can remix it anywhere you want, which is just a great new update.
That's it. So once you've got the ability to put things into your camera roll, you know, the iPad your oyster, so to speak, isn't it? You can just do so much with that.
Yeah, the same is true with Adobe Voice, isn't it? Now Adobe Voice you can save to the camera roll, and as you say, Greg, you can do so many more things with it now.
Yeah, I agree. I really rate a new app made by the guys who do Graphio called Vidra. which is a very, very similar thing to Adobe Voice, and it was like almost as soon as the video became live, so Adobe Voice then magically had that ability to save the camera roll. But either way, both are really powerful for what you want to try and do, aren't they? I think that probably just we're on just gone 11 o'clock GMT, 11:02 now. So just wanted to say probably time for us to wrap up. Just want to say a massive, massive thank you to Bryn for joining us from up near Manchester in the north of England. Massive thanks to Greg who wins the award for person who gets up the earliest. So 4:45 a.m. starting. That's some serious espresso action needed on Saturday morning. Thank you to Joe again for joining us for another Live White. Thank you to John joining us from Southampton, and to Simon as well. Thank you all very much. I really enjoyed that. Great ideas, great sharing, and I really appreciate you giving it the time on your busy weekends, in your free time to share some of your fantastic ideas and your practice. So thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you to our people viewing us and what have you, and thanks to various people who've been tweeting during the course of the show and what have you too. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.